Guys, exciting day. We have a new battery. This is Signature Solar 8S 100 amp hour module. Let's open it up. Foam. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is half of an EG4 rack battery. So the rack mount battery that you're seeing, this is half of the cells that actually go into the EG4, that Signature Solar cells. So let's pop the top. This is nice. It's got a little cover on it. I'm excited about that because you just wire the thing up, you put the cover back on, you ain't got to worry about something dropping on it and shorting out. I think these are going to be the killer DIY thing, guys. $499, 100 amp hour, 24 volt. If you want 48 volt, you get two of these and you series them together. Brand spanking new cells. You ain't got to deal with bus bars. It has bus bars soldered on. You're not going to have to find bus bars. You're not going to have to make bus bars. You're not going to have to deal with, I don't know, do we need to compress? The cells are already compressed from the factory at the right tension. You don't have to worry about it. You're not going to have to build, you don't have to get some wood and put some all thread in it, compress it. Those are all things that are adding cost and time. It's one unit. This will go into your van or your RV or your solar wall. $499. Smoking good deal in my opinion. All you got to do is add a BMS. We're going to add a smart BMS, JBD 8S smart BMS. You're talking about like $75 or so. With Bluetooth, all that stuff. So $575, still a smoking deal. You're in the sweet spot of do-it-yourself here, man. So brand new prismatic cells. Let's see if we can look. So serial number's intact. I'm gonna have to look closely and try to figure out who makes these cells. So we'll figure that out. But yeah, I'm stoked about that. Let's check the. Oh, by the way, if you're if you're doing a 48 volt pack, you only need one BMS. You'll just get a 16S lithium iron phosphate BMS. So you're only spending $75 one time. It'd be like anywhere from $75 to $100 for a 100 amp BMS. 3.27. 3.27, yeah. 3.27. 3.27. 3.27. 3.27. 3.27. And 3.27. Bam. They're all 3.27. They've got these spacers in between each cell, so they're not going to ground out the casing if the heat shrink gets damaged. And it also protects the bottom too, so it's not going to damage from the surface you have it on. The end caps are galvanized steel. Oh, look, there's a model number right here. So maybe we can look that up and get some kind of information. But yeah, these are the modules that fit into the EG4 server rack batteries. So yeah, what we're gonna do is, actually, I want to look up these. Let me get my glasses. I want to see what these cells are. I can't see because I'm blind. I need glasses. I still can't see. It sucks getting old and being blind. Okay, so what I'm finding here is the brand name GFB is Gang Fing. Ganfeng. Ganfeng. Ganfeng? Ganfeng. Okay, so yeah, GFB. We're just gonna call them GFB. That's easier. That's the brand. Zoom out here. Yeah, this is gonna be really fast. Let's see, we've got in the bus bars, we have threaded inserts. Are they inserts? Yep. So there's threaded inserts for bolts. I don't know what size, maybe an M6 or something like that. So what you'll have, it did not come with the bolts, so you're gonna have to get bolts. And I think those threaded inserts are actually the same size as the battery terminal itself, so that's handy. But this is really nice because we're gonna be able to put the BMS balance leads, the bolt them right there, bam, bam, bam. So yeah, we're gonna get a BMS on this thing, and then we're gonna charge it up. Then we're gonna do a capacity test and see what the capacity is. Does it pull full capacity? See you when I get to that point. All right. Now to recap, I don't know if I think I might have been too excited that I didn't tell you everything about it. Battery was $4.99, shipped. Now I'm in Fort Worth, and Signature Solar is in Sulphur Springs, which is like an hour away from me. So we didn't ship for very far, but it came FedEx, and I mean it was $4.99 shipped, which makes it I mean it's already a good deal, and then it's free shipping to my door. Stupid good deal. I don't know if they free ship everywhere, but I mean I didn't pay anything for shipping, and I bought this with my own money. They do seem to have an affiliate program that I'm trying to get on, but I'm not on it yet. If ever, I don't know if they'll ever let me on. All right, let's flip it around because negative is over here. So let's hook these up. Oh, so by the way, the main positive and negative are M6 screws. I think these are like 8 or 10 millimeters, still too long. So I have a lock washer and a regular flat washer just to make sure, because you don't want to screw this into your your battery, because that would suck so bad. So M6 there, and then these are M5. So I couldn't find ones that are short enough. You really have to get some short ones. So I got these set screws, these M5 set screws, and a nut. So you can put that nut on there. And then, come on. Maybe. There we go. And that can take up the slack. And when you put these on, don't go in too deep. You're going to have to, watch it and then use an Allen key to make sure you don't turn it too far. Which reminds me, I need to go get the rest of the screws and an Allen key, so I'll be right back. Oh, okay. So we got the most positive on, most negative on. We need to get the second wire to that. No. Ooh, almost messed up. We need to go over here. So that's as deep as I want to go. All right, yeah, so just double check all your connections. All right, most negative, second most negative, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and then most positive. Yeah, it's correct. So let's plug this guy in. Will this work without connecting the B minus to the battery? I don't know. Let's try it, because I have to find some cables to either solder to this or, I don't know, bolt on or something. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I can find it. Wait, that's my my battery in the solar shed, which it's I had to do a video, but I replaced that crappy cell. Yeah, remember cell, was it 15? Yeah, cell 15 was a self discharger. Look how balanced it is now, like 0.007 millivolts out of in balance. Anyways, I saw another one on here, so let me try to connect to the right one. I need to name these things. Ah, cool. Yeah, so check it out. So it's asking me to set up the parameters, which these are proper. Nominal capacity is 100 amp hours. Cycle capacity is, we'll do 80. Sure, we can change that later. Okay, so yeah, those voltages are whack. So that might be because I don't have, yeah, that's it. You do have to have that connected. So let me go get a jumper cable. I'll be right back. All right, I'm just going to use a little jumper wire right now because I've got to find some. I've got stuff. I just got to find something to do this properly with. But for now, we'll just do that. And yeah, there we go. Everything is at 3.265, 3.265, 3.264, 259, 264, 266, 264, 268. So, I'm going to find a piece of wire to hook this up properly. Then I'm going to hook it up to this charge controller. And tomorrow I'm going to let it charge up. And then we're going to do a discharge to see if this really does live up. You know, if this is a good battery or not. We're also going to see how well balanced this thing may be. Completely out of balance. It's very possibility. So when we charge it up, we'll see. We'll see if some cells are real low and some peak out and all that kind of stuff. We'll check that out. If it's out of balance, then I'll hook up my hobby charger and top balance each cell individually after I've got it, you know, pretty close to full charge. And then we'll do a discharge. Well, I always do a 1C discharge. I know people say, oh, you can't do that. You got to do a 0.2C. Listen, I don't see the difference. I don't. I've done the 1C and the 0.2C. I don't see a significant difference other than the amount of time that it freaking takes. So if I do a 1C and it doesn't pass, then I'll go down and do a, you know, like a 0.2 or a 0.3 or something like that. See if it gets any better. And I've done that and it doesn't. But anyways, that's my testing methodology. I'll be back when I get a wire hooked up. Good afternoon. All right, guys. So I got this thing. Okay, I got some leads soldered into my BMS. Those were handy takeoffs from the old battery hookup packs. I got so many of those. We've got power going in. Just a minute ago I saw 700 watts. We've got some clouds going over. Everything's still looking pretty balanced. Now what's the deal with this? Can anybody guess? The deal is, it appears that there's power coming out of the battery instead of going in. That's because this and this is reversed. I was kind of tired last night and I could barely see because I was so exhausted. This should be connected. This should be connected to the battery. And this should be the charge. Whatever. I'll switch that around. No big deal. But yeah, we're charging, getting 600 and something watts. So yeah, such a killer battery. I mean, so easy. Just add a BMS. Here's another thought too. Like, I used to have some of these and I threw them out, but if you had old server cases, like real server cases that were like 4U, yeah, I'm thinking you need a 4U for that. So like a 4U 19-inch rack mount case. I bet you could just gut it out and put these in there and make your own freaking rack mount batteries. Put some terminals on it, throw your BMS in there. Bam. You know, if you already have those, you might actually even be able to find those for dirt cheap somewhere, because I don't think a lot of servers really use those 4U 19-inch wide, well, the 19-inch wide of course, but the 4U ones, because they're so, you know, they're so less dense, unless it's like a blade server or something like that. But a lot of the servers now are really thin. But anyways, I'm gonna let this charge up, and sometime tonight maybe I'm going to do a discharge and see what we get. And if not tonight, maybe tomorrow night. So I'll be back when I do a discharge. All right, guys. So this thing charged during the day, but yeah, it's a little out of balance, as you can see. It was, I checked it earlier. It was further out. It's 146 millivolts out right now. So the balancer on the BMS, you know, has been kind of probably doing some work. So yeah, like if you get this pack, it would balance, you know, as over time with the balancing from your BMS. But I'm not gonna spend that much time on it. I want to do a discharge test So I'm gonna hook up the Heltec balancer and let it do its thing, and then we'll let it charge up some more tomorrow, and then we'll do the discharge test. So see you then. Well, internet people, the time has come. We are going to run our discharge test finally on this Signature Solar EG4 battery module. What happened to my camera here? Here we go. Let's go to hyperlapse. And we're going to start recording. And I don't know. I'm going to do a 0.5C, I guess. A little less than a 0.5C. Yeah. So there we have it. Gonna let that run and see what we pull. Alright guys, we're coming up to the moment of truth. We are down to 1%, 99.5 amp hours, 2,526 watt hours at slightly under a 0.5 C. I mean, we're almost there. We're almost there. I'm gonna say we're pretty certain it's gonna make it. Of course, did we expect something, you know, different? Not really. I really expected it to make it. Oh, here we come. We're coming. Here we go. Bam! 100 amp hours. Haha. 2,538 watt hours. We're still going. Where will we get to? That is the question now. So it's completely passed the test. Where will it end up? One thing I was thinking about right as I came out here, and it was about at 5%, was I think I have the BMS. Well, I don't. It was default settings, but I think it's set to under voltage at 2.7 per cell. Which is a good spot, but if we want to know exactly how, you know, how much we can drain these batteries to, how much power can we get out of them, probably would want that at 2.5. So I don't know. When this finally turns off, I might go into the BMS settings and set that to 2.5, and then turn this back on and see how much more we get. Is that even worth it? I don't know. We're at 101 amp hours. It's still, I mean, it's holding pretty strong here. We've still got 23.4 volts. I think with this set to 2.7 low volts, I think it's set to 2.7. Maybe I did change it. I don't know. I'll look at it. But at 2.7, this thing should shut off around 22 volts. Right? 21.6 or something like that. I may not get to 21.6 because I expect there's probably going to be one cell or something like that that's sagging a little bit lower that might cut off quicker. Anyways, let's just let this run. And when it finally does cut off, I'm using my tablet to do the time lapse here. We can pull up the JBD app and see what the status of the cells are, see if they're still relatively balanced, or is there one that's a lot lower than others. That's usually the case, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's because it's top balance. these cells aren't going to have exactly the same capacity, exactly the same everything. But when you top balance, you're going to expect to have a little bit more of a stagger near the bottom. So that's just totally normal. Guys, we're at 102 amp hours, almost 103. 2,595 watt hours, and still going. I'm gonna say we at least get we're definitely at least gonna get 103. We might get 104. These are great. This is the new deal king, in my opinion. The new DIY deal. This is it. I mean, there's nothing else out there in lithium iron phosphate that's here in the USA, you know, sold by a company that wants to maintain their reputation. Something about this company, I'm really talking them up, and that's purely me. I bought this pack with my own money. They did not provide it to me. And I'm not even an affiliate, so I don't get anything from this whatsoever at this point. But whenever I bought this, I was trying to contact them because I wanted to set up, you know, I wanted to go out to their place, which is an hour from me, and do a tour of the factory. And so I called, and they were busy. You know, these guys have a lot of sales volume, so I wasn't able to get through. But the next day, I didn't even leave a message or anything like that. I just hung up. The next day, somebody called me and said, "Hey, we see your number here, and that you weren't able to get through, and can I help you?" And I was like, "Wow." I've never had a company do that. Never. So even though they were really busy the day I called, they still went through their call logs and found the numbers that they missed. They took the time to do that and call me back. That is incredible. Anyways. Oh look. Dude, we're at 104.67. We're still going. And so I actually was expecting this to shut off at 21.6, but it didn't. So I guess I must have set this to 2.5%. Oh, there we go. I think we're about to shut off. The inverter is getting to that point to where it's not happy. We're just gonna let it keep running until it just shuts off, I guess. We're at 105, guys. $105. There it is. All right. Whew. 105.23 amp hours. That is, you can't argue with that. That's insane. That's great. 2,654 watt hours. These are legit. These are good. Again, I digress. I was rambling on, but what I was trying to say is I think this is just the great deal right now going for DIY, given that it's $4.99 shipped. They shipped it to my door. I don't know if they do that all over US or whatever, but it didn't cost me any shipping. I paid $4.99, you know, plus tax, and it arrived on my doorstep. Okay, so even if you find a sweet deal, you're still paying shipping. You know, you're still going to pay shipping. So these, I didn't pay shipping, so I don't know. Like, again, you might want to find out from them, and don't take my word on it, if it's, you know, a different state or whatever. Do they have to add shipping charges? Do they have to add you know, whatever fees for hazardous transport or battery transport or whatever. But yeah, absolutely just fantastic. What I was saying is that, you know, this is like in the almost getting into the used sale range, you know, of stupid good price. So two of these would be, you know, like the capacity of those server rack units for $1,000 instead of, you know, whatever those are going for, $1,500, $1,600. Now, of course, you're going to have to add a BMS, but you can get a smart BMS for less than $100. You know, like I usually pay around $75. So, man, if you got a van, these are sweet, and they've got these little mounting things right here to where you could screw it down, and it's not going to bounce around in your van. If you got a house, if you got a shed, if you got an off-grid cabin, bam, these are perfect. Anyways, there you go. We got to 105.23 amp hours, 2,654 watt hours. I'm thrilled. These are great. This is it. And I'll put the link down in the description. Like and subscribe, please. And I'll catch you on the next video.